This is the OSCAL 1800 SE power station. Let's find out what you get in the pack, what its features are, and then let's put it through its paces. Starting with the accessories in the box, you of course get your wall plug charging cable, but you also get a 2-pin high capacity lead for solar panels. Now, not all power stations these days come with these leads. They kind of assume that they're coming with the panels, but if you're buying a set second hand or you're buying a set of panels that don't have a lead, you've got one. That's always good to have a spare as well. You also get the usual paperwork. This power station has a pleasingly wide variety of outlets all on the front of the panel to make it easy to manage. Starting with the USB ports, we've got two 100 watt USB-Cs, two USB-As, one at 15 watts and one at 18 watts, and these of course have a separate switch so you can turn them on and off independently to the rest of the power station. 12 volt fans are well taken care of with your usual car outlet that'll run your fridges, plus two round pin 12 volt outlets. AC current is well taken care of as well with 3 outlet plugs. Finishing off the front panel, we've got a light that's controlled by a separate switch here. And we've also got the main switch for the power station that turns everything on and off. Right, let's get this little thing charged up, put it through its paces, and see if we can torture it. Now, the power station's indicating that it's going to take just under 50 minutes to go from 59% charged to fully charged. That's a little bit slower than some of the power stations on the market these days, but it's probably kinder on the battery. You can't always get what you want. Right, so scenario number 1, you're going to use this one inside when the power goes out. Let's see how many household items it can run. Let's even put a few together. Number 1, obvious, kettle. Now, the overload alarm is going off with our first test. That's because this is only rated for 1800 watts maximum draw, and you can see on the dash here that we're just over that at around 1870. It's still continuing to boil the kettle though because it's got a power boost mode where it can temporarily ramp up to a maximum of 3600 watts of draw. Now, the fans have just kicked in, the battery's working hard, the management system has allowed the kettle to be boiled, but it's told you off because you were about 60 or 70 watts over its recommended normal maximum. Number 2, coffee machine. These use a surprising amount of energy as well. If it was struggling with the kettle, it'll be struggling with this one. Now, it should be heating the water at the moment, so let's have a look at the screen and see how much it's using. We haven't tripped the alarm off yet. Cheers! Looks like we can make a cup of coffee without triggering the overload alarm. Well, we haven't managed to trip the alarm yet, so let's get the venerable old toaster out. I'm kind of out of bread, so I've done some flatbread to look like a slice of bread. That'll do. We're only pulling 780 watts, so I'm afraid this test is starting to get boring. Let's get the microwave. Rightio, microwave. And we're pulling just under 1800 watts, so we're not setting off any alarms. And it'll put up with that for about 24 minutes. So microwave, yes. Coffee machine, yes. Toaster, yes. Kettle, be careful. Let's try and break it. This ought to work. And we've set off the protection system. And that's really important as well. Batteries like this can become dangerous if they don't have a good protection system built in. This one does. It'll put up with a lot, but not too much, so your batteries won't overheat. If you put this somewhere really hot, don't expect it to be able to go to the full capacity of overload either, because the battery management system will weigh up the heat of the battery as well as the draw on the battery to make sure that this thing cuts out before it becomes dangerous. So that's good to know if you're going to use it in your house. One of the big concerns that I have when I'm camping is, will my little power station have enough power to run the fridge through the night and day? Well, the battery management system in the OSCAL pleasingly has charged through capacity. So at the moment I'm drawing about 80 watts from the sun through these 100-watt solar panels. So I've got 80 watts going in through the back, and out the front I'm pulling about 30 to 35 watts to run the fridge. Now that means I've got nearly 50 watts of power surplus. That's going into the battery to charge it to full capacity. Before nighttime comes, I've got no more power from the sun and I'm running the fridge on the battery alone. So this should be able to run that fridge 24/7 as long as you've got a basic set of solar panels attached. Pleasingly also, the connections are universal with all of the other brands of power station, so if you've got a pair of solar panels from an old kit, they will work with this new power station, not a problem. And because we've got the 12-volt plug in the front, the car plug, all of your standard camping equipment's going to run off it as well. Now power wise, this comes in at just over 1 kilowatt hour. But don't be put off by that. A lot of people don't need the extra power of a lot of these power stations these days. And power means weight, because you need more batteries. This comes in at 13.9 kilos. One annoying thing that this battery shares with all of the others that I've tested is that it's got a flappy panel that really doesn't like closing as much as it likes opening. That's going to be a victim of being ripped off real soon. One of the things that I love about these little power stations is they make a great off-grid solution for your smaller sheds that aren't connected to power. If you need to use the occasional tool in a shed away from the home, then a simple little solar panel on the roof, a cable, and you're in business. Speaking of in the shed, let's try out some tools. Yep. Yep. Well, that is gobsmacking. This is the first 1 kilowatt hour power station, it's just over 1 kilowatt hour, that I have tested that has been able to cope with welding. Normally this is the preserve of the larger models, but because of that 3600 watt overload system that it's got the boost capacity to do a short section of welding. That could get you out of trouble on the side of the road if you've got a fantastic little modern welder like this Weld Class 175 or similar. This power station is really impressive. Now I probably need to mention that all during the outdoor tool trial, I don't know if you noticed, but I've had the phone and the drone both on charge. The drone through the 100 watt USB-C port, which is really important if you have things like laptops that you want to keep going, and the phone through the USB-A port. Speaking of phones, yes, there is an app. You can get an app for this and you can turn it off and on, you can monitor it, you can control its usage all through your phone. So if you're really lazy and you don't want to get up out of the camp chair, you can control the power to the entire campsite. So summing it up, the OSCAL power station is small, it's light, it's got a fantastic display that is actually usable outdoors. It's got just about every kind of electrical outlet you could possibly need, and it punches above its weight with its 3600 watts of overload capacity that'll keep your campsite or your workplace humming. Team that up with the app and all of the other features, and it's a really good little buy. If you're interested in this, of course, there's a link in the description. And if you like this kind of review and you find the way that I do them useful, please do hit the subscribe button down there. There's plenty more every week, and we'll see you next week with something else.